faith, firearms, and freedom. This is Armed Lutheran Radio.
Hey folks, welcome to Armed Lutheran Radio, a show about guns, hunting, competitive shooting, the natural right of self-defense, and what God's Word says about the issues surrounding gun rights and gun ownership. Let me adjust my headset here. I am your host, Lloyd Bailey, the Armed Lutheran, and this is episode number 382. Let me explain to the folks what's going on, because what we are doing, if you are listening, is we are having our online hangout. And we were supposed to have our monthly online hangout in October. I planned it for the end of October, but because of how busy things were with work and stuff going on with my daughter's school that week, I didn't get the invitation out until very late. And as a result, we didn't get a whole lot of, most people weren't able to change their schedules and make it. So this is the October hangout in November. So my apologies for the delay on that. If you missed us last week, I apologize. If you're new to the show, welcome aboard. Thank you all so much for making Armed Lutheran Radio a part of your week every week. And thank you to the members of the Reformation Gun Club for making this show possible. And those are the folks that we're hanging out with tonight. And let's bring them all in right now. The usual suspects joining us. Pastor, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Ken is in the Star Chamber. Not sure what's going on there. Hey, Steve, how are you?
Evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
Good evening. Justin's back.
I have to wait for the play to be over. Right about now, let's see, it's 8 o'clock, so I would be busy reacting poorly to a day scene.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it is great to have you back. Donny, how are you, sir? From Kalispell, right? Is that what it's running off the screen? From Kalispell, Montana. All right, he is muted. All right, so Pastor, how have you been? Let's just go around the board. How have you been? What have you been up to since last we were together, or at least last time you were with the group? And
sure,
because you and I have been together since then. What's been happening with you?
Not a whole lot. Well, I guess it depends on who you talk to.
You only work one day a week, right?
That's right. I only work one day a week. And I still can't seem to find enough hours in the day to do everything I need to get done. We did go to my oldest daughter's first college visit on Monday.
Ooh.
So
how'd that go?
It went very well. Going into it, she sounded like maybe she had a few reservations, like she might be persuaded to look at other schools still. But after the visit, she's like, nope, I'm going to Concordia Seward. There's no question about it.
All right. Very good.
So she's going to be pre-med, and her hope is to play soccer. And their team this year, Concordia Seward, they just finished their season. If they would have won their last game, they would have gone on to the national championship tournament.
Nice.
Yeah, so they have a pretty good team, and
so that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back as far as this is where I want to go because they've got a good program.
I think that was part of it, but
no, it's a big part of it.
Being a faithful Lutheran university, having a excellent pre-med program had a lot to do with it. Yeah. So, and with this whole soccer thing, though, we have to start recording games, which gave me an excuse to go buy a really nice mirrorless camera. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Now I'll just have to
Okay.
figure. It's supposed to come tomorrow, and I'll just have to figure out how to use the dang thing.
So where is Concordia Seward related in relation to you?
About a 4.5 hour drive, so it's
That's not bad.
about 300 miles south by southwest. So,
Your daughter's not going there, is she?
yep.
Oh, that's too bad. Horrible place. Not a bad theology. And
They're
tell her to
the
say,
they're the only Concordia right now that is, well, aside from Irvine, that still has a solid theology department.
keep her away from Summerfeld. He's a former DP of
Oh,
Nebraska. Yeah, I was in the Nebraska district, so I'll just let you know.
So might be some fun debating going on there in the theology department. I'm sure she'll be well prepared for it, being the pastor's kid. We don't have a Concordia University here in Texas anymore because they basically are garbage and have completely crapped all over the Concordia system and the Lutheran confessions. So
I think Concordia, Texas is aligned with Concordia, Montreal. If you've been watching the news of what happened up there.
yeah, I did see that. I did see that. I've in recent months I decided, since Elon is in control, I'm back on X, but only to my great. I'm reminded every time I connect to that stupid app of what you said. I think it was 8 years ago when we first, one of the first episodes we ever did, and you talked about you don't have to jump into a sewer to know that it's filthy. It's
Right.
It's free filth now. Apparently, they don't censor the filth as much as they used to, but it's still just it's horrible.
They're
So-
filthy and proud instead of trying to hide their filth.
Right. Well, Ken, how are you, sir? He's muted.
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm kind of a long time listener, and so I figured I'd jump in the Hangout. I usually binge listen to the podcast, so I'm just before the beginning of the 2022 election.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
are you
it's
working your way backwards, or you
I
didn't
work on
start
my
from?
boards,
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
so what I do is I load up a USB drive with podcasts, and I just binge on that. And I do the same thing with Issues Etc. They're 10 years behind, and it's really fascinating to see how see what the takes are, and how they age through time. And Lloyd, I think yours have done pretty darn good, actually.
Well, thank you.
From
We-
the 2020 election and your take on that, I was very impressed.
Well, thank you. I've surrounded myself with good people, so it makes it a lot easier. I'm really proud of what we've done for, gosh, I was just thinking about this today. We're going to start, is it, Pastor? It's going to be 9 years, start our 9th year, right? Starting January.
I think so.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I was at the GRPC in 2017, Lloyd, and I didn't even see you.
Oh, that was such a great
Yeah,
great
I met
event.
Mark Walters there, and a whole lot of people, and there was that little guy, and I wanted to shake his hand. He was the reporter. I forgot what his name is, but he just looked too fierce. I didn't want to touch him.
The little guy.
I'm trying to remember who he is. He's the older fella.
The dwarf.
Who?
The dwarf. If you've read the
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, he's the little one, but I found out about this podcast on Armed American Radio,
Oh, cool.
and you came
Okay.
on about 3 or 4 years ago, and I said, no way. And I think you were about 50 episodes in at that point.
Probably. Yeah, Mark and I have not gotten together recently, but yeah, those were fun. Those were fun episodes, and grateful to Mark for giving me a little chance to spread the word, and for also for reviewing the book. If you've seen or read Duty to Defend, he wrote a little blurb for it, and I appreciate his efforts to help us spread the good word.
I apologize. When you're talking about the short guy, I thought you were talking about Sergeant Bill.
Sorry.
No, it was I forgot the older fella that who's a regular that gets interviewed on Armed American Radio. He's
Ah,
got the one with the real old timey accent, and I can't remember. I just can't remember his name right now.
The little guy with the old timey. When you said the accent, I was
He
thinking
he
A.W.R. Hawkins.
because he's a magazine editor, and
Dave Workman?
I think it was Dave Workman.
I didn't realize he was that small.
Or maybe it wasn't Dave Work. I think it was Dave Workman.
It could have been when I met Dave. He spoke to AmCon, which is something that we started doing. The Self Defense Radio Network. Paul Lathrop set up an alternative mass media event the day before GRPC, and it started in 2017 in Dallas. And we had speakers. I think Dave Workman spoke at that AmCon, and the way the thing was laid out and the way we were all sort of looking up at him. He was standing off to the side, and so I may not have been able to kind of decide about his stature, but was really impressed with him. Never got a chance to meet him personally, but
He was
if
always
that's who
on
you're
the
talking
move.
about, he's good. He's awesome.
Yeah, he was always on the move, and he seemed to be a man with a mission, and I just didn't want to stop him. But I did get a chance to shake Mark Walters' hand, and I talked to that Jewish fellow,
Yehuda Reamer.
the one that he named the experience after, but I can't remember his name now. I haven't been listening to him lately. I've been binging on your stuff, but
Okay, so we're thinking about somebody else.
yeah, tall gentleman this
Oh.
time. But I just
yeah.
can't remember his name. I'll remember.
I'm terrible with names. If you show me a picture of somebody I can remember, no problem.
I'm the church elder that's a really bad with names. So
Yeah. Everybody comes up at church and they're like, "Hey, how you been?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how are you, dude? Don't know who you are. Can't remember." I'm terrible. So that's just until I get talking to them a little bit, and then I can figure it out. It takes me a minute with some people. But once if I've met you and I see your face, I'll remember you forever. But if somebody throws a name at me, I'm horrible. I am absolutely horrible.
yeah, I'm the same way. And I'll walk away from that person at church and walk up to someone in the narthex and go, "Now, who was that lady's name again?"
Yep. Steve, how are you, sir? How are things in Virginia?
Going well, going really well. I've got some fun gun stuff for you tonight. You know, last time you had the online hangout, you ended up talking about the scout rifle for half the night, and I really felt like, oh man, I can't believe I missed this one. But oh well.
Yep.
So I knew I can't miss it anymore.
Well, I'm glad you're here. What have you been up to since we were last together?
Well, shooting wise, I've been playing around with a new rifle, and the Sig Cross that I ended up in possession of that with a really wild story. If you want to get into that at some point tonight,
Ooh,
but
okay.
yeah, I pulled off the most epic trade I've ever done in my life, and this time I was on the good end of it. I'm usually at the wrong end of an epic trade. Somebody else is telling stories for years about the gun they got from me, but yeah, this is a fun one. But I've been able to do some long range shooting lately.
Nice.
Getting ready for hunting season. So yeah, everything's going great. Although we don't have a pastor at our church, we're still very irritated. We've had 2 people return our calls in the last couple of months. So yeah, we could use a pastor right now.
Okay. And you're in give a plug for your church, and if any pastors are listening who are available, or
Well,
anyone involved with that process might
is
hear.
Redeemer Lutheran in Fredericksburg, Virginia. We're about halfway between Richmond and Washington, D.C., and I guess mid to large size church. I think we have an average Sunday in the neighborhood of about 200. Very, very family friendly church. It's bizarre how many families we have. I'm just not used to seeing that many kids at a service. So it's a wonderful place. This place got me into the denomination. They got me from the Episcopalians. So it's a great place. Very, very happy with it.
Excellent. All right. Justin has not been here forever. So tell everybody what you've been doing since last we were together, because it has been a while. And it
has been. And it's a lot of it is just play nights, doing the Great Passion Play, acting in that. I've also been working in the Bible Museum. A lot of interesting people come through, a lot of great outreach opportunities. People always interested in the word. So a lot of great opportunities to share there. I actually was going through the stacks and found an 1898 copy of Luther's Smaller Catechism and Augsburg Confession in German. It's all in gold leaf, and it's actually a rather nice little thing. It's like, I should take some pictures of that and throw it up on the group. See what y'all think of it.
Very cool. Were you able to? Where did you find it?
It's actually in the location with the Great Passion Play. We have the Bible Museum that the collection's been going since 1928. Through donations, through purchases, all of that. We have one of the largest public viewing available collections of Bibles and Bible related literature, hymnals, psalmists, anything like that, and it's just all on display.
Nice.
And I do have some very interesting things. We've got some of the original copies of Luther's writings. We've got a fully annotated 1599 copy of the Luther Bible. We've got a whole section just on the Reformation and how all that process came through.
Where is this, to plug this for anybody who might be listening and might want to come by and visit? Where
so
is
it
this?
Is this is the Great Passion Play in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It has the largest outdoor drama production in the United States, and one of the largest in the world. It's actually modeled after the Passion Play held over in Germany in forgive my pronunciation, Obergramfell.
Is it
Yes. And we have our season runs from Easter until the early part of November. Mostly once it starts snowing, it's kind of hard to be as an outdoor drama. But we do the full Passion of Christ. We have that go through the triumphal entry all the way through. So we do 3 nights a week, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays during the play season. I'm in it. I play Judas. All my family's in it. So my wife, she's been running in the control room lately. My son, he's been doing, Lantern Boy, Dead Child. So he's one of the children that the Christ figure will rise from the dead. And so, yeah, it's a family thing for us, and kind of our church has a lot of people in it. So yeah, it's we know a lot of the people on cast, and a lot of people who run it, and it's a great time. And aside from the Passion Play, we also have the Christ of the Ozarks there. We have the Bible Museum. We have the Holy Land Tour, where we have a recreation of the Tabernacle in there. We have recreation of the Sea of Galilee. During the play season, we have costume actors down there delivering, full teachings, around the Tabernacle, around all these different places that you would see in the Holy Land.
Very cool.
It does everything. We do everything.
Now, is the museum, I would assume, is not restricted to just the Easter to November? Is it open year round?
No, the museum is open anytime the property is open.
Okay.
So that's always available. Typically, I say play season as more people come to watch the play, and then we also have the Bible Museum. We have the Sacred Arts Museum. We got a little bit of everything. So.
Very cool.
And no terrorists.
I mean, we're in Northwest Arkansas, so it's a little bit. You really got to want to come here,
right?
You're not just going to pass through.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's see if we can get Donny unmuted and see how he's doing in Kalispell, Montana tonight. How are you, Donny?
Doing pretty good. Been hunting all week. Did some shooting before. Only saw one legal animal. We did get to see a cow elk tonight, but they're not legal. We saw probably over 200 deer, and I was in Eureka Springs about 3 weeks ago. But I was we walked around a little, and we were on our way back to Branson to see the Oak Ridge boys on their farewell tour. Took the train down to St. Louis, rode, then we rented a car and took Peter down there for his reading break at seminary, and went down to where he worked this summer on his summer vicarage, and he's excited about going on his regular vicarage. But when I did some shooting, muzzleloader season is coming up in Minnesota, and I was able. I got a 1-inch 50-yard group with my muzzleloader, so I feel pretty confident with it.
Good deal. All right. I am going to mute you for now because you're breaking up a little bit. I'm glad you're here with us. Hey, Stuart.
Hey.
In the great state of Florida. How are you?
I'm doing well. I was filling in for pastor at church, and there's a guy from SEM. He was a 1 year when I was my 4th year. I couldn't remember who the hell he was. He went from being single to have 6 kids. Good for him. I don't know if you know Brandon Froyland, John.
No, I don't.
I think you were gone, and then he came in. That's why. Yeah, I think you were already graduated.
Yeah, I was a year ahead of you.
1 year ahead. Yeah. So anyway, could not remember who he is. Who are you? I have an excuse. I'm old. Anyway, I went and took my concealed weapons permit class, even though I don't have to have that here in Florida, but I took it anyway. It's always good to have them. And I'm doing a brisket tonight.
Ooh,
nice.
And I'm rendering the fat right now, so if I run away, that's where I'm going to make sure the fat's not doing anything bad.
We will totally understand if you quickly disappear from view. No worries. And Dan, for crying out loud, it's been too long since you've been here. How in the world are you?
I am doing well, actually. I've been busy, as I'm sure you can imagine. That's why I haven't been here. But no, I'm doing excellent. It's wet and stormy here in Washington, and that's okay. It'll end soon, another 7 or 8 months, and it'll be summer for a week.
What's the biggest thing that's been keeping you busy?
Well, I'm working on a new position at my job, and I had nobody to work for me, and I need a bunch of people. So I've been trying to hire people. I've got some great people now, and it's wonderful. So we're just moving forward and doing our thing.
So it took a while to get all that squared away before you had some free time again. I
Yeah.
understand.
Oh, it's hard to find good people. I mean, you can find people all the time, but good people that actually are interested in making a difference, they're a little bit more difficult to come by.
That seems to be a common theme I'm seeing pretty much everywhere. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about just basic menial service jobs all the way up. Finding somebody who will put in the work and take pride in it doesn't seem to be as easy to find folks nowadays.
Yeah, it's weird. That doesn't seem to be something that people strive for. But I tell you what, I've got a couple of millennials that are kicking butt and taking names, and I'm real proud of them. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, and the ones, it's a great opportunity for, I mean, as sorry as some of the service can be for consumers, for employees, if you show some initiative and put forward the hard work, the sky is the limit. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
companies
Absolutely.
are so desperate to have good employees right now, they will just shower you with opportunity left and right.
And these days, all you got to do is show that you care.
Show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
show up and show you care about doing something, and oh man, I will give you some opportunities.
All right, let's see what everybody's got on the menu tonight. Pastor, how's the health going? How's the heart? And what are we imbibing this evening?
Well, I was imbibing decaf because
Oh Lord,
I'm not supposed to drink alcoholic beverages anymore. And I guess I'm getting old because if I drink caffeine this late at night, I won't get to sleep till 2 o'clock in the morning. So health is doing just fine.
Good.
I've lost like 25, 30 pounds, and
Excellent.
I'd like to lose some more.
Wouldn't we all? Yeah, I hear you. I'm last gasp of summer guy. I ran across this I don't know even know where I saw it. I decided to do a whiskey orange crush. So it's not orange crush
Ooh.
soda. It's
Ooh.
orange juice and lemon lime soda and whiskey, and it's supposed to be a little dash of triple sec, but I didn't have any triple sec, so I think it could actually use it. But it's good. So we're back to being like 80 degrees every day, so it's still basically summer around here. Ken, how about you? What's on the menu tonight?
Well, nothing special tonight. I might have had a Defender coffee tonight, but my wife just walked in, and I wouldn't mind having one of the adult beverages, but my gastroenterologist told me to take it easy on the esophagus, so I'm kind of having a. I listen to all these great things you guys drink on here. Really, really interesting things, like tastes like wine, but it's got mocha and it's got some chili peppers in it, and it tastes like Mexican hot chocolate, and like, yeah,
Some of Michael Seuss's recommendations in here when he's on. Yep.
right.
Steve, how about you?
I have a local one, Bowman Brothers, small batch, Bowman Brothers. This is brewed or distilled here locally in Fredericksburg. So if you were to become pastor of our fine congregation, you could have a local distillery with Bowman Brothers.
Hang on, let me get my resume ready.
Right.
Bring it, man. Bring it.
Justin, how about yourself?
So we've got the Sonic drink. That's just Fanta, and I'll be back. We've appropriate today. Heaven's Door double barrel whiskey here.
Nice.
So this is I believe that's Bob Dylan's tie-in. I think it's his whiskey. I was working with the gentlemen from distillers from Angel's Envy and Breckenridge on it. So
okay,
it's good stuff.
Nice. Let's see. Donny, how about yourself? Since you're on a hunting trip, are you abstaining? Say again. I'm sorry.
I'm just drinking water tonight. I'm drinking water tonight, but I've got 3 bottles of Glacier Distillery that I picked up at the distillery last Saturday. I got them sitting right next to me, but I don't want to open them up before I bring them back. There's some Huckleberry whiskey in there, jalapeno whiskey in there, and I got some North Fork rye this time, which one of the gentlemen on here told me about it several meetings ago. But that's what I'm. And my you said lay off on all the spicy stuff and caffeine, and I'm really wonder what there is to drink or eat.
Okay. You were breaking up a
what
little
he
bit.
said.
What he said. Absolutely.
Cheers.
So, all right, Glacier Distillery. Absolutely going to check out Glacier Distillery next time I get a chance. Okay, so Stuart, I saw you sipping something intriguing. What was it?
Well, after cutting off all the fat on the brisket, I finally got around to making a Sazerac cocktail. I mean, it was still 70 some odd degrees here. Might as well have something southern to drink. And now it's turned to rain since it was cloudy and humid all day. We haven't had rain for a while, so that's good.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. We didn't have rain at all summer, and the last 2.5 days, I guess it's been now, have been nonstop rain. So as much as I would like to complain about it, I'm not going to. From the look of my yard, I'm not going to complain about it. Dan, how about yourself? You look like you're parked in a perfect. You're in the bar. So what have you chosen for this evening?
Indeed. Tonight I am drinking something local. It's from Seattle. Oh, it doesn't want to pick it up.
I started saying it's disappearing. It's
Westland Distillery. Westland Distillery is a distillery in Seattle, Washington. They make single malt whiskeys, and they really do a good job. Okay. I actually got turned on to them years ago. They called out of the blue. They had a piece of equipment that they used at their company that I happen to specialize in, and they found my name on the internet and called me and said, "We need you to come fix this." I came to fix it, and oh my gosh, it smelled wonderful in that barrel room. It was just, and they gave me a tour, and I couldn't taste anything at the time. I was wearing a uniform, and yeah, the company frowns on that. But I came back the next weekend, and they gave me the whole shooting match of, hey, try this, try that. This is how we make it. This is how we barrel it. This is how we put it together. And it's all Washington State grain and Washington and Oregon oak that they make their barrels with, and it's absolutely delicious. And I've taken a few people by there to show it to them, and I always make sure I have a bottle handy. And tonight that's what I'm drinking, and I'm drinking it in my essential glass that says I am an essential worker, just in case they want to try that stuff again.
Hey, well, you're in Washington.
Yeah. They would like to, I'm sure. They floated a few trial balloons about, hey, we got another wave of COVID coming. We might need to have some more vaccines, and everybody said, yeah, no.
Well, actually, it's interesting. Some of the churches in the area are saying we need to protect our people, and they're getting ahead of any mandates and saying we are going to be proactive in protecting our people. And
any idea in what way? In protecting them from the mandates or protecting them from COVID? What are we talking?
They're going to protect them from the evil germs that exist in the world.
Uh-oh.
And I'm not inclined to attend their churches, but I'm certainly willing to discuss their reasoning with them.
COVID is the reason that I'm no longer Episcopalian. They basically shut us down, and the church that I landed at was the only church that I could find that had weekly communion that was open. And they took on the attitude of, okay, we've got all these mandates. How do we get around it, but how do we still serve our people? And they did just an absolutely amazing job at figuring out how to serve people in spite of mandates and in spite of all this other garbage. I was so impressed.
Serving people is what the church is all about. And actually, I've for the last month or so, I've been attending a church that during all the mandates, I attended, and I was shunned to another area and everything else. But they're good
because
people.
You refused to wear the mask, or?
Oh, I don't wear masks.
So that's why they were shunning you?
Yeah, and people that weren't going to wear masks were put in a different area, and then they broadcast everything there. And I was a little put off by that, but the message is great, and the people that I've met there are great. And actually, I've been, like I said, for the last month or so, I've been attending there occasionally, and it's interesting to talk to them because they do have a great biblical perspective. And I'm trying to ignore the fact that I was shunned for not following the rules, but I get it and everything else, and I'm trying to let that go.
Just hand them a copy of the Cochrane Institute study, and it's hundreds of thousands of data points that show that these stupid things don't work. Masks are for two people.
John, I have all kinds of data that I can throw at them, but it's hard to jam something down someone's throat that you're really trying to respect and trying to get their opinion on.
Yeah.
Well, plus, they've been conditioned.
But I will.
So they were conditioned for so long by the government, by the media, that you're all going to die if you don't wear the mask or if you don't get the vax.
Or you're going to kill grandma.
You're going to kill grandma.
Oh, that was the big thing.
We're already treading on thin ice as it is right here, because I got another notification on another 3-year-old episode that got pulled down by YouTube.
Gosh.
Oh, good golly.
And it was an online hangout for.
Was this something I said?
I don't know. I have to go back and listen because I can't access it anymore because they pulled it down. So I have to go see if I can find the audio to figure out what did we say. But yeah, I mean, they're still pushing this stuff.
We probably said something like Jesus is Lord or something obviously racist.
We probably said exactly what we just said about 30 seconds ago about masks not working, and that's probably enough, because they cited the WHO and CDC and all this stuff, and that's typically what it is. If we said anything about not getting the vax, we probably is why we got taken down.
Well, you know, as long as we vote for Joe Biden this next election, I think everything will be fine.
Everything will be great. Fantastic. We'll have the
Yeah, if I may relate, during our church, we're in Houston, and LCMS congregation, and we shut down, but we had the choir come in to do the live stream to support the hymnody that we would sing for it. And I remember, I was in the choir at the time, and I looked down from the choir loft, and there's about 35 people in the pews, and that they just kept coming. We closed the church, but they kept coming. And within 3 weeks, we had 50% of our congregation showing up.
Nice.
And eventually we just reopened the church officially, but you couldn't keep them away and you couldn't tell them to leave. And our congregation has some high risk people in it. We got some people that are older in there. They came anyway. So it was good. It was beautiful.
Our church was
Well,
the
it's
same
real
way.
hard to tell Christians you can't worship. They don't usually buy that.
Well, the phrase that our pastor ended up using is, he said, all right, the mandates are over, the mask mandates are over, but I got to tell you, if they ever reimpose these again, I will come up here and tell you that the state has reimposed the mandates. But I'm going to tell you right now, I am not law enforcement, and I will not enforce a law for the state.
Amen.
Everybody sat there is like, oh, I like that. I like that a lot. So I appreciate that type of attitude. He'll tell us, yeah, there's a mandate. I'm not here to enforce it, but that's what the mandate is.
And if people want to stay home and stay away, then I think it's our responsibility to provide them with a method of worship that will work for them. If they choose to stay home,
all of the above.
I'm all about that.
You have the service, you have the live stream. You can have them both.
Oh, absolutely.
As long as you're not trying to do online communion.
Yeah. But
just
with that, for
I've
those,
done online communion with people, and it was fun.
if you're going to do online communion, you may as well just have a bottle of whiskey and do it right. But
well, that's what I'm talking about.
That's it's when it comes to online church, if you've got anybody who's just staying at home watching the live stream because they're afraid, remind them of what the early church went through. And if you look at the scriptures, worship is intended to be corporate, where it's the body of Christ gathering together in a real physical way. You're not doing that when you're sitting at home living in fear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Well, some of us recognized it right from the get-go and went, "Ho, stop. None of this makes any sense." I mean, right at first, hey, let's take 2 weeks and we're going to look at everything. Oh, groovy. I was all over that. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on, because none of us knew what was going on.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
Well, and after 2 weeks, okay, now we have some more data. Oh, but it's being suppressed. Oh, people are being banned for saying it. Oh, okay. I knew what was going on then.
Yeah. And I'm shocked, to be honest, that YouTube hasn't pulled down the whole Coronapalooza run of episodes that we did. They haven't touched any of those. And those were seriously...
I loved those.
Those were really very critical of all of the policies. And when we broke down individual policy, does this make sense? Is this going to make a difference? What's the point in doing this? And what are the downsides? And we went through everything. I'm really shocked that they haven't gotten to those, because it wasn't just a brief conversation between, us. It was an entire show of us just tearing apart the policies that were being suggested around the country. And,
Lloyd, I got a question. Does Apple Podcasts pull them? Because I usually don't watch it on YouTube.
No, YouTube has been the only one who has ever pulled anything.
Figures.
Yeah.
Because I don't usually watch it on YouTube. I definitely don't watch the one I'm in. that I'm on. I ain't gonna watch myself, but I'd rather just hear.
Yeah, I mean the only the all of the podcast services have been great. None of them have suppressed anything. But if you try to promote some of it on other platforms and direct them back to it, that hasn't been a problem. Where we've run into problems has been with YouTube because the audio gets the streaming service that we use publishes not only to our feed but also to YouTube. And when we do a video like this, I replace or I substitute a video version. It's basically just the logo of the show and or the I don't know whether I think they just do the that or that favorite image that's on the channel, and that's all you see the whole show, but it's audio only. And somebody apparently
AI can look
AI
at
picked up that we were talking about forbidden topics, and how they found it, I have no idea.
You'll have to start throwing them up on Rumble.
Like truth and stuff.
I have thought about doing that, and we are up on what is that other service? I actually heard about it from Ian at Forgotten Weapons. I can't even remember the name of it now. There's another service that he started using because YouTube started suppressing whenever he goes out and does a shooting demonstration with a fully automatic firearm, YouTube bans it automatically. And so he puts up a video and says, you can't see this on YouTube, so go over here to their competitor and watch it. And I can't remember the name of it, but I signed up when he first started doing that. I signed up, and basically it mirrors everything that gets posted to YouTube gets mirrored over there. I'll have to look and see what it is so I can plug it.
Is it Vimeo?
That'd be interesting because Ian
It's
does
not.
great videos.
Yes. And so anything that got posted
Will.i.am
to YouTube originally, it's still, even if YouTube pulls it down, I think it's still over on that other site. So talk amongst yourselves and I'll try to figure out where that goes.
Hey, Dan, what part of the People's Republic of Washington are you?
I live in Enumclaw. Enumclaw
Okay,
is,
I know
there's William. I live up against the mountains in Enumclaw.
Right. I used to live in Spanaway.
Oh, right on. My son doesn't live far from there.
And then I left. Then I went somewhere nicer.
Well, it's
sunny
not hard to
and
find
warm.
someplace nicer, but you got to admit it is beautiful out here.
Yes, it is. And all the communists love it out there too.
They do. They do indeed.
Amazing John's out there.
Will.i.am. What you drinking? Where the heck in the world are you tonight? And how are you doing?
I've got me some root beer from the mezzanine level. I'm currently at the Atlanta airport en route to Paris right now.
Okay.
So my wife and two of my kids are already there. Here's my oldest playing some Nintendo Switch action. When we get there, we're going to hop on a train and go out to rural Normandy. And we're going to spend a week watching over about 200 animals. So
post some pictures for us.
I will do that. I'll make sure to put it in the gun club.
Yes, and avoid Paris at all costs.
Well,
Picked a really bad time to go to France.
You got to go to.
You
the
see a
Moulin
yellow
Rouge.
vest, just go the other way.
Just right.
get away from the yellow vest.
Go to the Moulin Rouge.
My wife took two of the kids to the Louvre yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
So
It's a different type of.
How did they
get
like
to see
it?
anyone glue themselves to a painting? Any of the stop oil people?
No, that's England.
So far,
No, it's happening in France too.
yeah, no paint thrown on
Yeah.
anything while they were there.
Good. And you're going to be in Normandy, so you got all kinds of cool historical stuff too. It's
Yep. And I learned that one of my friends from church has a relative, and I couldn't tell you who it was, whose name is on a monument at Point Du Hoc, up up on the coast.
Rudder.
It's Rudder, yes. So his family member was Colonel James E. Rudder, I think it was. This is my friend Keith, and so I'm going to take a day trip and go up there and take a picture of it just for him.
Absolutely.
Very cool. There is a museum, and it's in Normandy, and I can't remember where. I saw it on I don't know whether you guys have seen JD, the guy who does the History Traveler YouTube channel. He does long runs of, like, he spent an entire, I don't know, 20 episodes doing stuff from Gettysburg, and he's done stuff from Normandy, and he found a really cool, I can't remember the name of the museum, but it's at a crossroads. I think they called it Dead Man's Crossroad or something, because there was a dead German tank with guys hanging out of it at that crossroad, and they have a huge museum with all kinds of panoramic displays of actual equipment, actual uniforms, actual stuff. I mean, it's amazing looking, and from the outside you would have no idea. So I'll see if I can find that, and I'll send that to you, William. So if you have a chance to find it. The place that I was thinking about, the YouTube alternative that I was looking up earlier, is called Utreon. Utreon. Basically, they just mirror everything I send to YouTube. So if YouTube pulls it down, it's still on Utreon.
Excellent.
Well, gentlemen, I need to get going, so I bid you all a good evening.
Hey, Pastor.
Yeah, John. Have a good one.
It is pushing
John,
an hour.
nice to
Good
see you again.
John.
Good to see you all. Have a blessed evening.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
Best
Bye-bye.
on your preaching this
Shalom.
weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Lord be with you.
Or be with all you too. Bye-bye.
With thy spirit.
With thy spirit.
And also with you.
No.
Actually, there's a few
I'm
of my
not
friends
I'm
we
not
get
Roman
together and
Catholic.
watch John's
We do that.
sermons.
It's in the and also with you is in the divine service.
Yeah, I know. That started because of Vatican II. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Donny, you're alive.
Donny,
looking good in the Kalispell. Hey, Donny, do you have any more?
I'm alive.
We still can't hear you, but we're glad we get to see you.
Oh.
Getting closer doesn't help, unfortunately.
you
Kalispell
look better,
must
but
have-
we still can't hear you.
We can see you better.
Video. Okay. Can you hear me now?
That's
Oh, now you sound great,
significantly
but I
better.
can't see you.
Sound better. Kalispell must have some interesting internet.
There. Can you hear me now?
Now he can't
Better.
hear us.
Barely.
Yes.
Well, I'm at some friend's house on Wi-Fi, and I maybe should have done on my phone, but it's getting out. I leave on Sunday morning early, and I went to my old church in Kalispell on Sunday. They have 500 people coming to services now on Sunday. It's the best attended LCMS church in the state of Montana.
Nice.
And they've grown 70%, 70% more than what were coming after COVID. So they're beating the average.
That's
And it was
fantastic.
nice. Got to take my handicapped son, and we both had communion together on Sunday. So that was nice.
Awesome.
Excellent.
I have a
And-
question for Will.
And
Go ahead, Donnie. Finish up.
Well, I guess the thought train derailed, but we were in 8 inches of snow today for a while, so winter's coming. That was up about 5,000 feet.
All right. Do you still have you have any hunting before you fly back on Sunday?
a fly back.
Or drive
I'm
back.
driving. Drive back to Minnesota. I take 2 days. No, I need to go see my 92-year-old mom again tomorrow and
Okay.
take care of some
Do
stuff.
that.
And
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a Gideon too, and I'm gonna go to my original Gideon camp for prayer breakfast tomorrow. So that's what's on for tomorrow.
All right. Well, safe travels to you, my friend, and
Yeah.
hope to see you at next month's hangout.
Well, I got my computer all wired in down basement. Not this one, but the other one, and I was all looking forward to that, and then they kept changing it. So that's why I'm like this. So anyway, good seeing you all.
My fault for it would have just been me and Justin. It would have been so boring. Justin would had to have carried the show. It would have been awful for me. I mean, I'm by myself. I'm not entertaining. I would have had to have had Justin singing or doing something to keep us all entertained.
I could just
I got on right
monologue
at 8
for an
o'clock.
hour and a half. It's all right. I'm sure I can think of something.
We could find something, I'm sure. That's true. I
have a
subjected
question
Jim
for
Martin
William.
to that. Okay, you go ahead. Go ahead, Stuart.
Will, I have a quick question for you. Your passport, does it have the big old beard or what?
Yeah. Hold on a sec.
I was wondering.
I'm
'Cause
pulling
I'm
it out of my
headed-
spore
I'll
am.
bet
Hold
you
on a
have it
sec.
handy.
Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah.
I'll see if I can just
because
show the
I'm headed
picture.
to Europe next year, and it's no shave November. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to keep the beard or not?
There I
The
am.
answer is
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
you
yeah.
do.
That looks like you.
Yeah, it does look like you. I'll probably have to shave. Okay, all right. Thank you, Will.
No worries.
Hi,
All right,
Donnie.
gentlemen, I'm going to take off as well.
Hey, Will,
See ya.
you asked me about a gift pack and a travel humidor. Do you want me to put something together and send it to you or something? Go ahead and send me a message. I'll put it together.
Cool. Okay, then I'll do that.
All right.
My son's reminding me I'm in public that I shouldn't be speaking so loud. There are
Embarrassing
many
the
people
kids.
around me. Yeah, there's people right behind me, so
Well, safe
I'll
travels.
do that. All right, shalom, gentlemen.
All
We'll
right.
see you another time.
Later on. Safe travels.
Cheers.
All right.
Have fun.
So Will's gone, so he doesn't get a prize. So it's time to do the numbers game and have everyone pick a number between 1 and 100, and we'll send out a prize. Donnie, I owe you a prize. Don't worry, it's coming. I've been very slack. Work has been nuts lately.
Yeah, but
All
work
this-
being nuts is better than being unemployed and laying on the
It
couch.
kills the alternative. I went through that with the layoff almost 4 years ago, and I'm not doing that again. I'm happy
Yeah, no,
as
thank
I
you.
can, happy as I can be that we're working as much as we are. That's fine. All right. So number between 1 and 100, Ken.
65.
65. Steve.
Always 42.
40. Everything.
The
answer is always 42.
The answer
Yes.
is 42.
Yes.
Don't ask me what
Absolutely.
the question is, but that's the answer.
Yep. All right, Justin.
45.
Ooh. Okay. Stuart.
13.
13. Going the opposite direction. Dan.
3.
Oh wow. All right, Donnie, what's your number tonight?
72.
72. Okay, here we go. Got the app on the phone. I'm gonna have to. Well, no, it's a Google ad, so it won't be a big deal. Here we go. What's the number? 9. Who's closest? Ah, that would be Dan.
Oh, look at that. Do I get a smiley face on my forehead?
You get a smiley face.
Probably.
That's awesome. All right, so Dan, you win something.
Right on. Just what I wanted.
It's a complete. It'll be a surprise.
Awesome.
And I apologize for changing the time of the meeting and moving it. I don't think we would have had everybody last week because of work. I didn't get out the invite till like, I think it was like 3 days before the meeting. So nobody was going to be able to attend except for Justin, who was just finishing up who had just, by luck of the draw, had just finished up his play engagements for the year. So
I didn't get the information that it had been changed, so I was sitting here waiting for.
Oh my god! Yeah, and I had to send
5
out
minutes
another.
in. I don't think this is going to happen.
It occurred to me about like 3 hours afterwards. I was like, oh, maybe I should have put out an email as well as not everybody's on Facebook, because I announced it on Facebook I changed it on the event on Facebook.
Yeah, but
and it
gets buried in Facebook.
Facebook is awful. I send stuff out. I don't understand the algorithm at all. I send stuff out to the group. We got close to 1,000 people who are subscribed to the friends or fans of Armed Lutheran Radio group, and about 30 to 80 people get a notification when I send or see it. The reach is like 30 to 80 people. It doesn't matter when I send it out or what it is. If I send out something to our group, just our little group, maybe 10% of you see it. I don't know why.
Oh, how can we change that?
You can't
send emails.
Yeah, send email, and that's so. That was my mistake for sending out the change of time, and then realizing 3 hours later, oh, probably everybody didn't see that. I should send out an email.
It's all right, no biggie.
So that one's on me. My apologies for that. And we will do a one-on-one with Justin as Judas Iscariot and see how that goes. That should.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Well, we are redoing the audio for the play, so I mean,
ooh,
okay.
By the way, I enjoyed Eureka Springs when I was down there about 3 weeks ago.
It's a fun town. It's a huge convention town. So I know we've got like a Corvette weekend, Mustang weekend. At the play, we host a Jeep Jam. So yeah, there's always tourists, people coming through.
It's
people coming just to see the play. So,
and it's beautiful because I moved here in 2013 and was amazed at the lack of hills and greenery. And all I had to do was go to a match in Arkansas, an IDPA match in Arkansas, and it was like, holy cow, it's almost like being back home. They had actual Southern sweet tea too, so that was.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yes. If you can't eat it with a spoon, it's not sweet tea.
It's not sweet tea. Yes, exactly right.
Yeah,
I have no idea what that is in Texas. They call it.
We're
sweet.
Up here in the Boston Mountains, so yeah, we get that little bit of. We have some variety in our landscape. I'll actually be down y'all's way, well, Texas way, next year, going down to a match in Eagle Lake.
Yep.
Yes, Eagle Lake. So.
Okay. IDPA.
Actually, it's Kalash Bash. So all AKs.
Oh, nice.
So
very cool. I have not been down to Eagle Lake, and I know they host some big name instructors, and they've hosted some big matches down there, and I have not been down there, so that sounds really cool.
Yeah, it should be a fun time. It was I think it was a 300 spot match, and it sold out in 15 minutes.
Wow.
Not surprised. Yeah. The AK community is around.
We're an interesting bunch.
An interesting bunch, but
interesting is the proper term.
Any chance they get to get out and shoot, they're not going to pass it up. That's pretty cool. All right, guys. Well, it is we're pushing past an hour, so I am going to thank all of you so much for again hanging out with me and spending the time and sharing your alcoholic beverage suggestions. And it's great to see you guys again. And we'll do another one this month. Probably.
It's Thanksgiving.
As soon as we do, let's do it.
Yes, as soon as we do it, let's do it. That's a great idea. I love you, Dan. I am so glad you're back. We've missed you.
I've missed being here. I really have. These online hangouts are great.
They are. Where's my calendar? What am I doing? There you go. This is the problem. I work on a PC all day for on a Microsoft product, and then I switch to Apple for this, and it's
Oh, you got to do that thinking thing.
and I have to think, what am I doing? So thanks. Let's try to do something. Okay. I'll schedule it for the week after Thanksgiving, and then we can talk about how our Thanksgivings went, and
Excellent.
whether we got into political fights with our families over Thanksgiving, because that's what the left wants us to do.
Well, I mean, things are, yeah, it's been interesting. I follow the FPC on X. I was about ready to say Twitter, but that's not what we should say anymore.
Everybody says X, formerly Twitter, anyway.
Yeah.
Or
Elon's deal.
It's been one of those things. It's been a wild ride, especially being in the industry. You have to really pay attention to all the law and rule changes and everything else coming out. So there's been some good stuff that I'm sure we'll have some interesting conversations around.
Yes. Thanks to the Fifth Circuit Court for knocking out that receiver rule.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Fifth Circuit ruled, and then it was a Texas federal judge issued a injunction on the brace rule yesterday.
Yes.
The hits just keep on coming for Shannon and the gang.
I think there's a good little quote from that was from the brief the judge wrote. But public safety concerns must be addressed in ways that are lawful. This rule is not.
I knew you were going to hit that. That
fantastic.
Was golden.
That's fantastic. Love it.
Back down right there.
That kind of sums up a lot of things that come down our way these days.
It really does. It really does. Okay, so let's see, November. What works? What day of the week is best for you guys? Are Fridays best? Weekends are awful for me generally, so
Friday
for November, it's crazy. I will make time for you whenever you put it out.
It looks like it would be December 1 then if we do it on a Friday. That would be the Friday
works.
After Thanksgiving or after Black Friday. Anybody going out on Black Friday? Anybody crazy enough to be out on Black Friday? No.
Why? Most of the sites that I would get anything from are already doing Black Friday deals.
Yeah.
They've been doing them since the
And
end
it's
of
all
Halloween.
online.
Since July.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Home Depot is.
All right, guys. Thanks again for taking the time and hanging out and spending your precious Friday evenings with us. It's really great to see you guys, and I appreciate your support. Steve, I hope you enjoy the book. Thank you for the order. I appreciate that. By the way.
Enjoying it so far.
It's got good people contributing to it. So, yeah, it was. I was really blessed to have really good people helping me out with that. So,
and it turned out great.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And
yes,
there you go. I'm thinking of doing a kind of an exhaustive edition of that at some point in the future that actually provides you the god awful examples that the media has used to, in the book, each chapter is trying to debunk an argument or a misuse of a particular verse. But you might not, except in a few cases where the authors actually reference the examples, you may not know how the left is doing it, how they're using or misusing those verses. And I have a huge article list that actually where we document which verses are used and how they're misused. And that was sort of the genesis of the book. We were doing that for our Clinging to God and Guns shows for years. And so I'm thinking about putting together sort of a definitive edition that actually has a page or two before, as a prelude to each chapter to sort of set the stage, so you see how it's being done, how the left misuses it, and not just the context, so that you can actually see just how awful some of the arguments are. So I might be doing that in the next couple of years. I've got a couple of other things in the works first, but there may be a third edition a couple of years down the road. Who knows? We'll see.
All right.
I'll buy an early edition.
I appreciate that.
All
Guys,
good.
have a
Early
great...
review copy.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, have a great weekend. I really appreciate you taking the time again, and have a good night.
Peace out.
Good night.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Gentlemen,
See ya.
nice to see you all.
For show notes, be sure to visit our website at www.armedlutheran.us. Check out the Facebook page, The Armed Lutheran, or join our Facebook group, Fans of Armed Lutheran Radio. If you like what you hear, please leave us a comment on our feedback page at armedlutheran.us/feedback, or a review on iTunes, and let us know what you think. Thank you for listening to Armed Lutheran Radio, a member of the Self-Defense Radio Network.